Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, and on the line is Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This episode, I want to talk about E3, because it just happened, sort of. Obviously, with the pandemic, it's all online, although I feel like E3 wasn't the same as it was back when I was writing for Gay Gamer, and I got to go, and I will always be eternally grateful to Gay Gamer for getting me into E3 3 years in a row. It was loads of fun, but I feel like E3 has been sort of transitioning anyway, but it's all online, and I know a lot of people were disappointed with E3 2021, but I mean, again, global pandemic, so temper your expectations. I get it. So there weren't a lot of like huge exciting announcements. There were a lot of announcements, but people seemed to... I'm glad I'm not the only one who's disappointed, because I felt like I was disappointed because it was just a lot of stuff I wasn't interested in. And I figure, well, other people are interested in it, it's just not for me. But I guess everybody was disappointed for one reason or another. But there's a few things that I wanted to talk about, things that that got my attention. First is Elden Ring, which I immediately tuned out as soon as I saw From Software, because I don't like the Dark Souls games. I find them super annoying and frustrating. They're not fun. I tried playing one once, and I was just like, no, this is horrible. It's so repetitive, you just keep dying, and then you try it again, and you get a little bit further, and then you die again, and then you just have to keep redoing the same things over and over again, and it's like super annoying, and not fun at all. So as soon as I saw that, I was just like, yeah, I don't know about this. The trailer looks beautiful. I mean, it's all dark and scary looking, but still, lovely graphics, but I'm not gonna get... as soon as I saw that, I was just like, nope, this is gonna be like another Dark Souls, so I am out. I will not be getting that. I was also surprised to see an Avatar game. Like, what? Like, I was just like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, oh right, the sequel's coming out like next year, so they're clearly doing this video game to tie in to the sequel, but I don't know if it's really worth it, because I don't know if it's going to do very well, because I don't know if the sequel's going to do very well, because it's been so long, and I'm not really sure anyone really cares about Avatar except for James Cameron. People just went to see it because it was like this big splashy 3D spectacle that you had to see in 3D on the big screen. And I'm not sure there's anyone excited for a sequel, so I don't know if anyone's going to be excited for this game. I mean, it could still be a good game, though. It's happened. It could be like a Horizon Zero Dawn kind of thing, and it could be a lot of fun, but it'll be in spite of the license, not because of it. Then there was one game that I was actually interested in hearing some more information about, except all we ended up getting was a teaser trailer that told us nothing. And that is Starfield, which is the new Bethesda game property that they're working on. It's their new IP. And I'm assuming, like I feel like everyone is assuming, is that it's going to be Elder Scrolls in space. So that has potential to be really awesome. However, it does have the potential to be not good for me, because I fear it could end up being like The Outer Worlds, which I didn't care for, because it ended up being like really dark and gritty and not a world I wanted to explore. You know, like the Fallout games, where I'm like, no, I don't want to go around in this world, is not nice. Give me something lovely like Skyrim to explore, and then I will just dive right in. So what I need Starfield to be is like No Man's Sky, but with Elder Scrolls style missions on these various planets that you go to. That's what I'm looking for here. I don't know what we're going to get, because we just got a teaser trailer, so they didn't really tell us anything. The other problem with Starfield is that Microsoft bought Bethesda, so now all these Bethesda games, like Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls game, they're going to be Xbox PC exclusives, which is annoying to me because I'm basically planning on buying a PlayStation 5, and I was not planning on getting an Xbox because the Xbox never has any exclusives that I actually care about. And now they're going to have these games that are going to be exclusives that I might care about, and now I'm going to have to get an Xbox too. Come on. I don't want to spend any more money like that. But we'll see. I'm hoping that they might be timed exclusives, because Microsoft realizes that if you just hold off for a while, you can then later put it out on the PlayStation 5, and you can get all those millions in sales. Hopefully they'll realize that and do it that way. But we're just going to have to wait and see, because the whole Bethesda situation is all new and we don't know what's happening yet. So fingers crossed, timed exclusives. But there are a lot of the games that were shown from the different companies, they were all like sequels to games series that I'm not interested in. So I'm like, oh, there's another one of those? Okay. Still don't care. So, yeah, it was hard for me. There was a lot of stuff that's in the sequels of things, and I'm just like, yep, not a fan, so next. The one sequel that got everybody hyped was Nintendo's showed some footage from Breath of the Wild 2. And for a second, I was like, ooh, Breath of the Wild 2. And then that voice in the back of my head said, yes, remember Breath of the Wild 1? The game that you never finished because it got super duper hard at the end and you weren't good enough at the combat to even get into the castle because it was so hard, and how much you hated all the breakable weapons. Seriously, the breakable weapons were what killed it for me, because I just couldn't block the lasers, and then my shields would explode, and then I would have to run away and go get more shields to come back. It was really irritating, because breakable weapons is right up there with escort missions. And I'm just like, no. So, I'm like, maybe I don't want to get excited for Breath of the Wild 2, because I'll only be able to play, like, whatever, 90% of it, like I did the first one. I mean, I enjoyed what I played of Breath of the Wild, aside from the breakable weapons, but then at the end, that just became such a hurdle, and it got really hard, and I was not good. So, that sucked. So, if they say in the sequel that they've gotten rid of the breakable weapons gameplay, I'm on board. If it still has breakable weapons, I'm not as enthusiastic about playing it. Sorry. Though, there was one thing during the Nintendo Direct that I actually got excited about, because they're releasing a Danganronpa collection for the Switch, and I never gave that series any thought, because I thought it was like Persona, but now it turns out, I was like, wait, it looks like it's actually the good parts of the Persona game, which is the adventure game part and the conversations and the romances and the whole story, and not the repetitive slogging through randomly generated dungeons to grind levels part, which is the part that I hate. So, it looks like it's just the good part, the story part. So, if that's true, then I'm kind of excited for this Danganronpa collection that's coming out for the Switch, because I've not played any of those games, so yay. If in fact, I mean, obviously I'm going to do more research before I buy the game. I mean, I don't even remember when they said it was coming out, but if I'm wrong, and there are sloggy dungeon grinding parts, please let me know in the comments, and I just won't even give it another thought. But right now, I'm like, ooh, like, mystery, visual novel, solve the murder mystery, court romantics, like, this sounds right up my alley. How have I never played this series before? So, yay for that. But that was about it for E3 2021, the Danganronpa collection. That's the only thing I'm like, woohoo! Because everything else that I know is coming has already been announced, and I'm already excited about it. So, you know, and a lot of these companies just announce things and do these big presentations whenever the mood strikes them, and they don't necessarily wait for E3 to do a big announcement anymore. And I feel like they weren't going to do a huge announcement anyway, because it's not an in-person E3, so maybe next year we'll get some big announcements again. Who knows? Before I sign off, though, I did want to just do a little update on my progress in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. First, I found another weird random thing that you can do in the world. I found a bunch of stones with a pattern etched on them, and you have to kind of arrange yourself and stand in just the right spot to make them line up and make the different patterns make one design. And I was like, how many more of these random things to do are they going to put in this game? But I love it. It's fun. It's a good distraction. So, also, I discovered my favorite world event. I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode. The world events are like, they're like just like little mini vignettes that you discover scattered throughout the world. They're not even really, you can't even really call them a side quest because they're very self-contained. Like you might need to go like just over here a little bit and do something and then come back. But they're all like very like right there. You have a conversation, you might have to do an errand, you might have to kill somebody. It varies wildly. But some of them have been a little serious and one was quite sad. But they're mostly just wacky and hilarious, which I love. And I stumbled across a bunch of people lounging around a pond, and they turned out they were nudists, although they're not actually naked because, you know, that would be offensive, I suppose. So they're not even the women aren't topless. Everybody's all wearing like little bathing suit things. And that, I won't say what the actual thing you had to do was, but it's hilarious, and the whole thing was very funny. And it's my favorite world event in Assassin's Creed Valhalla so far. Also, I finished another arc where I put King Oswald on the throne of East Anglia, and I had my first gay sex. It ends with a wedding, and at the wedding party, you are approached by one of your, Viking compatriots, and he comes on to you pretty strong, and I said, yes, let's do this. And because I've decided that just like in Odyssey, Eivor is going to just have sex with anyone who wants. So he'll have sex with whoever. I haven't encountered too many romance options yet, just these. I've had 2 so far. Well, there was a third. Yesterday when I was playing it, I had a third, and she came on to me, and I was just like, whoa, because she's the wife of my brother, and I'm just like, Sigurd's my brother. I mean, we're not technically related, but I was raised in his family after mine was killed, so I don't really want to fuck that up by sleeping with his wife. So, yeah, let's just be friends. Sorry. So, it does not look like I'm going to actually romance everybody in this game. But, I just didn't want to do that because I felt like that was going to have repercussions. Banging the dude at the wedding, I might never even see him again. But, Randvi I've got to deal with at camp constantly, all the time, and when my brother comes back, that's just going to be a situation, and I don't need that kind of drama. So, that's it, and I will let it go because I feel like this one's getting super long again, and I will see you back here for my next episode where maybe I'll have slept with somebody else in England. Bye!